In this section, we'll try and answer your questions about what it's like to go to Download Festival, things we recommend, and things to avoid. This week, changes. We have some updates to the actual site at Download back at Donington Racing Circuit back in 2019 after some initial changes to the Download site to satisfy the airport, who of course are their neighbours, and some local residents as well who are having some houses built, and the mud that eventually got everybody after the rain. The bigwigs got together and decided to make some even bigger changes to the site to keep everyone happy from 2020 onwards. However, everyone knows what happened in 2020 and 2021, so 2022 will be everyone's first chance to experience all these nice, lovely changes and hopefully the much improved experiences that they will bring. There's a lot that is going to be different, so where do we begin?
So you've stated the reasons for the change. Like you said, the surrounding area, like local residents, there's loads of new housing going up. Obviously, they need to, as you said, satisfy the airport.
Would you live at Donington?
No, I fucking... Well, I was about to say, no, I fucking wouldn't. But because I'm such a Download fan, yeah, it wouldn't bother me too much. The airport could be a bit of a pain in the arse, but the loud metal music you might be able to hear from your house, that's not too bad.
I'd have more of a problem with the airport, to be honest.
I would too. Even the cars screeching around the circuit wouldn't be too much of an issue.
Oh, I would actually love that. Yeah, that's going to be more of a feature than Download is, because Download is for 1 week, a year.
Yeah, obviously the circuit goes around almost like 9 months of the year.
Yeah, it's a busy circuit and it's world known. But then you've got the airport as well. It's not going to be a quiet place to live. If you want quiet, it's like it's the same thing. You know, people who move opposite a pub and then complain about late night noise. It's the same
There's actually, if you, I think you might be able to find it on Google, but there's actually complaints with residents that have moved to the area of Reading, near the Reading Festival, and complained about the festival. I don't get that. Like, exactly. Like, if you're gonna move to a well-known site of a festival, you've got no right to complain, especially when that festival's been there for fucking 30 years.
Yeah, it winds me up something rotten, and I don't know how these people get up in the morning and live their lives, live in the way they do. You know, let's move house directly next to a festival site and then complain when it happens. Stupid. So, I mean, to be honest, I'd be quite happy living in Donington. I like Donington. I think it's lovely, actually. There's some nice pubs there and all of that.
It's a nice little village, isn't it? Yeah. I agree with you. It is a nice little village.
And if you want to go abroad, you've got the airport. If you want to travel the country, you've got a train station. It's a nice place. The people are nice and all of that. So, you know, if that's your... Let's hope they're downloaders that are moving in.
You know what? I'd imagine they probably all are.
If you are, tell us and talk to us.
They're either motorsport fans or Download fans.
Yeah, either's good with me. So things have moved around a bit, haven't they? Yeah.
So with obviously everything we've just mentioned as well, there's actually a hotel going up. So you know where we used to, from the car park, cross over the bridge, and you got that patch of grass leading to the entranceway.
Oh, the Sacred Bridge across the road?
Yep, and then you that grassy patch there, then obviously you walk up to go grab your tickets, the way you would go into the village and Blue Camp. On that corner, they're building a hotel.
Are they?
Yep. So there's that they've had to compete with, so everything's had to move. The location has now... So the location of the village specifically has moved from that field, obviously, where we can, if you're a veteran of the festival, you'll know where Blue Camp is, the old White Camp, that's all now car parking, and the village is now moved to what is known as the Tarmac Lake, which used to be used as car parking for the festival. So you can imagine how big it is going to be.
It is huge. I remember one year staying in the RIP section and having to walk through the Tarmac Lake to get to the bus, which would take me to your camp, the regular camping. and it took me absolutely ages to walk that. And plus, it's where you've a lot of times we've had to walk up there to actually get into the festival. Tarmac Lake is where sort of holding area, isn't it, or wasn't it? That's
yeah. So 2019, that was the queuing area to get your wristbands to get in. So that massive Tarmac Lake, as it was, will be the village, which I think is going to be amazing because it's all hard standing.
Yeah.
So you're not going to sink into the mud. You're not going to get your welly stuck. You're not going to get dirty. It's going to be brilliant.
I think it's really important, actually, because you do need a part of the festival that isn't susceptible to mud. You need a recovery area that, when it does piss down, and let's be honest, it's going to piss down, you need a place that you can recover. And I just think it's so important. I mean, it's, when you're 20, maybe you don't give a toss, but you know, as you are, because it's not a young festival. There's a lot of older people that are there too, and a lot of people who are with mobility issues as well. You need that single area that you can just get to it and not have to worry about getting stuck in mud.
Precisely, and I think they've made an absolute cracking decision to move it there. Why they've not done it earlier, I don't think even they know why they've not done it earlier. But it makes total sense to me.
And it's also nice for the traders not to have their stalls and merchandise and whatever they sell caked in mud. You know, because it's not nice, because when it's absolutely throwing it down, you don't want to walk around the shops.
Well, the biggest hindrance to us, I felt, in 2019 was the fact that we didn't stray very far from our campsite. I didn't personally, because I passed out halfway through Thursday and didn't wake up to the next day. But I don't feel as if we made as much use of the village because of the crap weather.
It was on a little corner at the bottom of a hill, which was I think for the vast majority, like 90% of the time in 2019, it was just a mud bath, and I didn't want to walk through that.
No, I didn't. I totally agree with you, and it just, I think that was the biggest, almost the biggest letdown of 2019 was the fact that we didn't spend much time actually in the village, purely because it would have been an absolute ball ache to just walk from one end of the village to the other. Yeah. Let alone getting from where we were camped, which was quite close to the
we weren't that far away, were we?
No.
And even so, we didn't want to go through that. I mean, I think we may have done it a couple of times, but that's a very small amount of times we would normally go through the village, because normally you're up and down there all the time, aren't you? Because it's the village and it's where you spend a lot of your time, but we just didn't want to go there. No.
So, again, this massive Tarmac Lake that's about 350 metres by 100 metres wide, it's going to be so much better. You're not going to sink into it. And if you do, questions need to be asked. But... And it's right, concrete.
It's slap bang in the middle of all the campsites, and you can walk there in less than 20 minutes from wherever you're camped, which is great, because in the past, it's, you know, those campsites were very spread out.
Yeah. That's my biggest take from it as well, is that, again, it's central to all the campsites and it's not far away at all. Again, like you said, the furthest point from one end of campsite to the village is only about a 20-minute walk. So, and that's not too bad when you really think about exactly what you've had to go through in the past. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, the location is absolutely fantastic.
So what else is new?
So the biggest thing that's new that came to my mind was the new merch store they announced. So on one side of the lake, that's what you could call it, is going to be a massive mega store, merch store. So you'll be able to, like you would in any normal shop, you'd be able to walk in, try your gear on, buy it, not buy it, whatever. But it's going to have tons of stuff in it. Again, like a massive superstore.
I'm looking forward to this, actually.
I am, because again, I mean, who doesn't love a bit of merch?
Oh, we all love a bit of merch. Oh, yes.
Exactly.
And there's going to be more staff as well. So, you know, the massive 30-person long queue that's in front of you, that hopefully will be shorter because they have more people working.
Well, hopefully, again, it'll be sort of like almost an IKEA type thing where you walk in and you just walk around. And obviously, you get to obviously the tills, and then you leave. Like you just it's not.
That's an interesting way of doing a merch store. I've never heard of that before.
You've been to IKEA, haven't you?
Many times.
I hate IKEA. Fucking hate the place. Oh,
so
bane of my life.
So you don't want this new merch store to be like it, then, do you?
As long as it's not, it's like a crash. For fuck's sake, it's yeah. So the one in Reading is like a crash. People bring their families for a day out at IKEA. I don't fucking get it. Okay. So fingers crossed, no, the new merch store will not be like that.
Oh my God, no, I couldn't cope with that. No, so a sensible merch store where you actually go in, you're not queuing up outside it, you can actually go in and walk around like a shop.
Like a proper shop.
That will be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, do you know, I'm always interested to know what the merch will be. And you don't really get to see much of it before you actually get there, do you? Which is a bit of a shame.
The only thing that we're predicting is going to be fucking baby blue, which I'm excited by. Don't get me wrong. My use of swearing there isn't in a negative way at all. It's going to be baby blue, and I think it's going to be brilliant. But you know, you're right. Like we don't really get a chance to be able to have a proper look until the day you turn up.
I mean, in RIP. You pay for your ticket and you get things with it, including lots of merch, and that does include one T-shirt. Usually it's a T-shirt. I think there have been hoodies in the past. I haven't had a hoodie. I've had the T-shirts before, but usually you get a nice T-shirt that says RIP on it. So I would imagine they're doing something nice for that as well. We will be talking about RIP a little bit more because that's the experience we're going for in 2022.
Oh yes, and I'm very excited because this will be my first time.
Yeah. So the transport hub, we did cover transport in a couple of episodes previous to this one, but the transport hub has moved. We have concrete information.
Yeah. So how to describe where it's moved to? That's what I'm going to struggle with because. So if we base it on the new festival site, you are literally a 7-second walk from the village or the nearest campsite from the transport hub. You meaning you get in the queue, you get your ticket, and literally you're straight into the festival. It is that close.
Did you just say 7 seconds?
I'm pretty sure that's what they boast.
That's very specific.
No, I take it back. Completely ignore me. I'm talking bollocks. 60 seconds.
That's a bit more. Okay, I can cope with it being 60 seconds. Right, okay.
Right, I found the quote. So let me just stop bullshitting and stop getting everybody else's hopes up.
Yeah.
It will now be 60-second walk to the village and a 2-minute walk to the nearest camp.
See, that's great, isn't it? Because especially if you've travelled hundreds of millions of miles on public transport to get to, even if you've just come off got out of a taxi, that walk with all of your shite, all of your camping gear, all your food for the weekend, all your clothes and all your kitchen sink, you don't want to have to take an hour to get to your camping site. To get there within a very, very short time with all your stuff, not puffed out, that's valuable, that is.
Well, I think again, I think the biggest thing was the fact that the YouTube video actually stated that they had been in contact with somebody who does get either the shuttle bus or a taxi or whatever into the transport hub. That if you've got a car, sweet, you park up and you can take 2 or 3 trips to the car to make sure that you can do everything like we do when we do general camping. But yeah, if you've got to come off a bus, out of a taxi, or out of somebody's car that's dropped you off, you've only got one journey. Yeah. And if you've got if you've got a fair bit of stuff, it's going to be a pain in the arse. So I mean, yeah, to put it that close to the actual village and to the actual camp is a very good move. You're gonna make a lot of people's lives a lot better as soon as they turn up.
Yeah, there was a YouTube video with a lot of this information in it from. Well, you can't. Was it 2020? It might have been in 2020 actually.
It was filmed in February 2020, and then on March the 2nd, I believe, they announced obviously the cancellation. So I mean, even they knew, even they thought at that time that like the pandemic is not, it's not going to hinder a festival. Surely not. They're going to have it cleared up. But fuck me, weren't we all wrong?
Anyway, so if you want to find that YouTube video, it is available somewhere. So if you're going to download in a car, there are new car park locations. Now, does this mean that the beautiful bridge that we're all used to seeing and crossing is no more?
I believe it's going to be only there for day ticket holders.
Oh, right. So it'll be there, but we won't get to use it if we're camping.
Yeah, so unfortunately, us 5-night or 3-night campers will be using either the West Car Park, which is, I believe we used it as a car park in 2019, if those of you remember 2019's festival. And also, if you remember Blue Camp, the party camp, that's now a car park.
Have you dubbed it the party camp?
No, that's how Blue Camp has always been generally seen as. It's always been seen as the party camp.
That's true. I've never heard it called that before, though.
Because it's the biggest. So before 2022, it was always the biggest campsite. So it's always been seen as the party camp.
Yeah.
But now, because obviously the whole site has moved, Blue Camp's now a car park. One of the main car parks is where we parked in 2019, in that big hilly field, which my car stalled on, and fucking I shit myself.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh, that car was a piece of shit. It stalled it halfway up the hill and I couldn't get to start again.
Oh God, is this the one you got for free?
The one I got for free. I got both my cars for free. I didn't pay a penny for either of my cars.
Okay, so if you are coming to download for just the day, you'll park in the South Car Park, which you will cross the bridge from. And you can walk from the South Car Park to the arena in 10 minutes, which is incredible. I mean, if it ends up being 10 minutes, I'll eat my shoes, bearing in mind the thousands of people who will be there in front of you.
Yeah, that is a bit of a prediction, really, and that's a big old headline of like, it will take you 10 minutes. Will it really take 10 minutes? How quick are these people going to get in? They're going to get their wristbands. They've got to then obviously, because I mean, I think the queue that we were in for the pilot was usually the queue to get in for the day tickets.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that wasn't 10 minutes.
No, it wasn't.
And obviously the queue had been open for fucking hours by that point when we arrived.
Perhaps the people who decided this have got really long legs, or they walk really fast.
Yeah, maybe they've taken like 20-foot steps. So you've got the old staples that are returning. With staples, I mean the stuff that's always there, which we all love. You've got the Doghouse.
Oh, yes.
Which will be mind the dog during the day, which is obviously your yoga for those that like to do a bit. I did it once, and my body felt awful afterwards. Oh, that also houses obviously the Bawdy Takeover.
Oh yes,
on the Thursday evening. Air of the Dog, which is the pub that's always there. They always do a decent selection of beers, even their own beer as well, and obviously the Iron Maiden Trooper, which is that should definitely be there, obviously with Iron Maiden playing.
There's the Sidesplitter as well, the comedy tent.
Yeah, which is strange because the Sidesplitter I always thought was in the Doghouse.
No! It's always been, as far as I recall, it's always been its own little tent. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I always thought it was separate.
Fair enough. So yeah, Sidesplitter with all the comedy acts will be there. The Wall of Death, I've never actually been in the Wall of Death yet.
I haven't, and we should go, shouldn't we?
I think we should. Yeah, I think this year we should definitely do it and go and see it. The co-op is coming back.
Oh, good. Thank God.
That's fucking brilliant. That co-op.
Yeah.
Especially seeing as it's not got festival tax on it. It's like the actual co-op prices.
Yeah, thank God. Yes, I'm really grateful that they turn up actually, because it's a lifesaver sometimes.
Yeah. On the other side of the lake will be all the usual food stalls and market stalls, including Fat Frank's. So if you do forget anything, go to them. Can't recommend them more. They are doing a click and collect service as well. So if you want to pre-order stuff to pick up at the festival, do it. And that they are a lifesaver. I think I've had blankets and duvets and all sorts from them.
Didn't you buy a tent from them at the pilot?
I did. Yeah, they saved my bacon big time at the pilot.
They did save your bacon, yes.
So yeah, can't recommend Fat Frank's anymore. In the village as well, you're going to have the Refresh Retreat.
Refresh Retreat.
Which we always have fun saying on this podcast because it's a bit of a tongue twister.
So what is that?
The Refresh Retreat, basically, that is your lockers, your showers, and your posh toilets. You can buy a gold package, which includes all three, silver package, which includes your lockers and your showers, or just your lockers.
But you don't have to have that in order to have a shower. You can have a free shower.
There are free showers. There's going to be two locations for the free showers. In what they've dubbed Camp B and Camp F. Camp B is, if you go onto the website and see their new layout changes, you will see the blueprint camp, that's Camp B. It's just going to be just off the side of that, and then Camp F, which used to be Gold Camp, which is by the side of the track. And
just to warn you, those free showers are communal. There's no privacy at all.
No, they're like cattle grids. So if you go in for your shower, just be aware that it's not private. You will see the bits and pieces of other downloaders,
and they will be able to see yours.
And they will be able to see yours too.
So there's going to be a food court in the largest campsite.
Yeah. So what has traditionally been Yellow Camp in the past is now becoming the biggest campsite at Download, and they will have their own food court in there. So if you are in the camps that are east of the village and you can't be asked trouncing all the way into the village, there will be a food court there where you will be able to obviously purchase your food, have a sit down and eat. That's
nice. The cinema is moving as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So if you've ever looked at a bird's eye view map of the of Donington Racetrack, so just off the right hand side of the village is what's known as the Kidney Wood, and what the plan is with the Kidney Wood is to literally just put a top over with no sides, loads of lights, and then make it sort of very atmospheric. So obviously for the cinema, and you're obviously watching your rock related films.
Oh, I wonder what's going to be on this year. We don't get to find things out before they actually happen. We actually
used to. I'm sure they used to actually like give you like a lineup, obviously what films they were going to play. But yeah, the last couple of years it's been a bit. You got to wait. You got to get there to see.
Yeah. There are new campsite locations, and we are all interested in the location of the campsites. Now, they are closer to the village and the car parks to make it easier for you to get around the site. So if you are going to and from the car back to the campsite, it will be easier, because if you've ever done it before, you've had to walk around the bleeding circuit carrying heavy stuff, and it's not a flat circuit. It's quite undulating and steep in parts and quite rocky. So let's hope that it is easier to get around the site from the village and car parks, because I don't know. Did anybody really enjoy that journey between the car parks and the campsites? I don't know if anybody did.
If they did, they are psychopaths.
Yeah, even if you're really fit and muscly, I think you might have struggled. I mean, that's from my perspective as a fat 39-year-old. But when you're driving into the car parks, don't follow your sat-nav, it says here. They will have signs on the road for where exactly you need to be. So accessibility improvements. Now, this is very important, obviously, for people who have any kind of disability and need a bit of assistance. If you are a disabled access customer, they want to improve things for you. So they've kept the campsite in a hard standing location, which is interesting because how are you going to set up a tent in a hard standing location? You can't plug tent pegs into concrete, can you? So I'd be interested to know exactly what they've done.
I imagine, where I'm thinking it is, it's just off the track, actually. So the hard standing is obviously easier for them to get to and from the village. But they will be near grassed areas where they can pitch tents. Or again, some of them will be taking camper vans and stuff like that. Neither of us are in that situation to be able to experience that. No. So unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to give any advice.
No, but if you are someone who uses the disabled access, please get in touch with us and tell us your experience, because we would love to know about it and to share that experience. So the new location of the village means that you can reach it on hard standing ground all the way, whether you're heading from the campsite or the arena, which I know is important. So that is some nice significant improvements for you. And there is a bigger Dogtooth stage.
Now, this is really exciting because, so in 2019, the tent packed out for 12-Foot Ninja and Ginger. That almost rhymes.
It did.
And there was a lot of kickback from it. There's a lot of complaints. Obviously, we know downloaders like to complain about things, but I think this is a valid complaint.
Yes.
So, Dave and I, Dave Kingdon, who has been on the previous podcast before, we had got in a really good position for 12-Foot Ninja in the center of the tent. It was amazing. When the set finished, we wanted to go to the loo, or Dave did, at least. And then when we would try to get back to the tent, there was about 15 people deep on the outside of the tent just to see Ginger. And a lot of people did make the complaint saying you need to make that bigger, or you need to be a bit more savvy when it comes to putting those types of bands on that small stage. Yeah. So they have made that tent bigger. I believe, have you got the capacity number in front of you there, Neil?
Yeah, it's been increased from 2,890, which is very specific, to 4,050. Which is it's over 1,000 more people that they can get in there. So that's nice. I always the thing about the Dogtooth tent is it does tend to get busier when the weather is bad.
That's great cover. That's why.
Yeah. So that's the thing is that when it rains, even though people might not be in there to see the band specifically, people rush there because it's undercover. And that's the same with all of the canopies. So make it bigger, yeah, exactly, because it's not always sunny weather. You know, it's nice to be optimistic, but it's download after all. So that's great news.
It is, and I'm really looking forward to it. Obviously, with all the acts that we've mentioned today, at least in that tent, it's going to be an amazing thing to actually have that tent being much bigger.
Mm. Now, if you're a fussy eater, you'll be pleased with the offers.
You can't say fussy eaters, especially with me on the other end of the microphone.
No, that's exactly why I've said it. More vegan and vegetarian food is on offer. They're increasing that by 40%, which is huge, isn't it? They're giving you over 30 vegan vendors to choose from on site, which is incredible. Vegetarian... over 40 vendors in addition to the vegan vendors, which is, it's mad. You will be eating you'll have so much to choose from, won't you?
I'm probably going to gain about 20 stone just from fucking download. It's not, and that's not just the standard beer consumption. It's going to be all that food. I'm really looking forward to. So I got information from a friend of a sushi place that's fully vegan.
No way.
I can't wait. I fucking love sushi.
I do as well. Funny you say that. I nearly ordered some today to be delivered. I love sushi, but it's quite expensive. That's the only thing.
Yeah, you got to have a career or a job that you're just rolling in money, don't you, Neil?
So
you do.
Yeah, whatever. So if you go for sushi at Download, can you imagine how much money you'll have to spend to get some? It'll be £40.
Oh, I don't mind. That'll do. That's fine.
Then we have some faster refill points. So because it can be sunny at Download, I don't know whether you've ever been to a sunny Download, but when it is sunny, it tends to be very sunny and very, very hot. So they have rejigged the refill points so that when you've got a bottle, an empty bottle, that absolutely didn't have vodka in it when you walked in. All of the water refill points have been redesigned with a high flow, meaning that you can, a litre bottle, 1 litre's bottle, can be refilled in 3 seconds. Now, I can see some water fights going on in the campsites, probably, with a high pressure water point.
Yeah, so when it says it's gonna fill a litre bottle up in 3 seconds, all I hear is high pressured water flow, which you're either gonna put it under the tap and it's gonna just fucking gush out everywhere.
Yeah.
Or water fights.
You'll have to have a big opening.
You have to have a big opening to be able to catch the gushing flow.
Yes.
Of water.
Yes, and all the water bottles which they are going to sell at the bars and trader stands are going to be made from renewable plant-based bottles that can also be refilled, which is interesting. Plant-based bottles. I've never heard of that.
There's amazing things within like vegan community and plant-based stuff that they're doing these days, and it is plausible. It will come from something that you'd never imagine that you could use, but they'll make it into something that's a bit more sustainable than single-use plastic.
I think that's a really good idea because it does get, very plasticky at Download. There's a lot of that gets thrown away and trodden on and it's not very nice. So that's nice that they've done a plant-based version. There is going to be more recycling as well.
Fingers crossed they do actually have more bins generally, but hopefully more recycling bins generally. So you're not walking through tons of crap. Which, if you've seen other festivals, the amount of shit that gets left in their arenas just purely from people just being lazy and dropping it on the floor.
Of course, the Download... what are they called? Those sort of beaker things that you get a pint in. Yeah, you're going to be encouraged to reuse those, and they have nice designs on, don't they? So as well as reusing them for your pint, you can take them home as a little memento. And at the co-op, they're doing the reverse vending machines where you can recycle stuff as well. There's going to be low carbon travel. If you travel by car, you can fill up your empty seats with Lift Share, who are back this year. So that's the way they're doing low carbon travel, by getting less cars on the road to Download by helping people who don't have a car to get there. Or whatever. I've probably said that in the wrong way, haven't I? But car sharing is basically what that is. And then you've got wristbands for all. So if you come to Download just for a day, you will now get a wristband. So just like the rest of the downloaders who are camping, you'll get a wristband too if you're just going for the day. And it's because I don't know about you, I keep my wristbands. I don't wear them for extended periods because they can get disgusting, can't they? So I remove it, and if I can remove it without cutting it, I'll do that. But I struggle sometimes with them. So if I have to cut it, I will. But I actually
have. Sorry to interrupt you there. I actually have a foolproof method to be able to get your wristband off without cutting it.
Really? Okay.
Now, if I remember this properly, you are supposed to. So you put your hand inside, say, a sandwich bag, and then you tuck the top of the sandwich bag underneath the wristband. You wrap it round, and then you try and pull off with bringing the wristband off with it, and it does come off absolutely fine, and it doesn't hurt that much.
I tried that last year after the pilot, and I don't know if I did it wrong or whatever, but it didn't happen for me, so I had to cut.
Oh, it happened. It happened for me. That's why I thought it was foolproof. But clearly, you fucked it, so it's not foolproof.
So hopefully you can begin. If you live locally and you are keen to get a wristband because you only go on days, then there you go. Can you imagine living locally and going to download? It must be amazing. Warm bed every night, shower, proper food.
You might as well just move there now then. What's stopping you?
Oh, do you know, it's a good question. It's a good question. What's stopping me? I could get one of those new houses.
There you go.
So that is our guide of the changes that are upcoming to the Donington site for download. And if you have anything that you'd like to contribute, or if you'd like to tell us about your experience, tell us about your do's and don'ts, anything we've missed, just give us your opinion. Just send us a message through the socials. Just search for FestPod, or send us a message through our website, which is festpod.co.uk.